15 things you should never do in Australia. Australia is a very fun country to go on vacation with its beautiful landscape and beaches. However, despite being a country where almost anything goes, there are still a few things you need to avoid doing in order not to have bad memories, marring the pleasant ones you will be making there. Number 1. Never go out without sunscreen. The sun here makes the one back home seem like a cool breeze on a spring evening. Just a few minutes outside in the summer can give you third-degree burns, so do not risk it. Always apply sunscreen generously when going out and do your best to avoid direct sunlight. Number 2. Don't stay anywhere suburban and away from public transport. Unless you've hired a car, getting around suburbia can be difficult and you can feel isolated quickly. Your best bet is to stay near a train or tram line, where you're guaranteed a regular and reliable service. In some cities, even buses during the day can be a bit hit and miss. Number 3. Never underestimate a storm warning. If there is one thing Australia does well, it's putting on an impressive storm. If there are warnings for a storm, be on guard. Don't attempt to drive through flooded roads, camp near big trees, or swim in closed waters. Number 4. Never swim at just any beach. Beware of crocs, stingers, sharks. If you're swimming close to the bigger cities, such as Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, and Brisbane, you're generally good to go. However, if you're on the west coast, Shark Central, or anywhere else, do some research first. You will find some of the most inviting and stunning waters, but also some of the deadliest creatures. Number 5. Never hike in the outback alone. Australia's rugged landscape might look appealing for a long weekend of camping and hiking, but you're much safer going with a small group. There are so many factors to consider in the Australian outback: dangerous weather, poisonous snakes and spiders, plus brutal dehydrating conditions. Just play it safe and don't do a hike alone. Number 6. Do not travel without travel insurance in Australia. It does not matter what plans you have when you travel to Australia. You first need to make sure you have unexpected expenses like medical coverage, and cancellations of bookings covered. If you ever need to interrupt your trip for an important reason like illness or family issues, a good travel insurance policy will cover this expense. Number 7. Do not drive at night. It may sound unusual, but this is another good thing to know before traveling to Australia. It indeed is important for your safety not to drive at dawn or dusk, because of wildlife crossing the roads in rural and outback areas. Moreover, bad weather and road conditions can be an issue too. Number 8. Do not buy any electronics in Australia. Anything like digital cards, memory cards for your camera, everything is costly. Pack all your electronic devices and extra spare memory cards with you, as these can cost you up to 40 Australian dollars. Make sure you have a spare compact camera just in case something happens to your good camera. Number 9. Do not disregard the safety rules in Australia. Australia is not a dangerous country as they like to depict it. However, you need to use a lot of common sense and follow simple safety rules. If you come from overseas, stick to the safety rules, even if they may sound exaggerated to you, that you come across at the beach, on the roads, in the outback and national parks and everywhere else in the outdoors. Number 10. Don't forget the thank you wave. While Australian drivers are often quick to pull out the other one-fingered salute, it's imperative that you acknowledge when someone lets you into the traffic, or exhibits other forms of road-based kindness. This can take the form of a raised hand, so that the car behind can see it, or a thumb up. The raised index finger from the steering wheel can also function as a rural greeting, as other motorists zipping by. Number 11. Don't assume there will be a gas station every few miles. Once you hit the highway or any place that can be designated as the outback, fill up where and whenever possible. Also, don't refer to them as gas stations or forget that we use kilometers not miles. Number 12. Do not surf without knowing the etiquette. If you are a novice surfer, remember there are rules of etiquette you should follow. First and foremost, don't drop in on another person's wave. It is not only disrespectful, it may be dangerous if you do collide. Also, don't be a wave hog, let others have their turn. It is best to know the rules before surfing. You don't want to be the cause of any problems. Number 13. Don't expect table service at all restaurants. High-end restaurants will have full service, it is part of the package for the prices you will have to pay. But most casual establishments will have a self-serve setting. You will look for a table, go over the menu, then go to a stand manned either by a person or a touchscreen computer to place your orders. You will be issued a number, and when your orders are ready, a runner will send them over to your table. Number 14. Don't take cabs or Ubers. Taxi cabs will cost a lot, especially since places are far apart. Same thing with an Uber, but if you have tons of money to spend, go ahead. Just know that there are buses that have routes to most of the tourist areas, and Melbourne has a free tram zone in the city centre. Try not to spend so much on transportation, it may limit your seeing and doing other worthwhile stuff. Number 15. Don't pet the dingoes. Even if you are a dog lover, remember that dingoes are wild dogs. While many are used to humans, treat them like any wild animal, they are not pets. People in camping grounds tend to feed these dogs, but don't pet them. There have been reports of attacks, even deaths. This goes for other wildlife as well, such as koalas, cassowaries, and goannas.